Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're diving headfirst into something I bet a lot of you have wondered about, especially lately. The question is, if I'm not really a coder, can I actually build my own AI tool? Something custom, maybe like Notion AI or, I don't know, my own mini ChatGPT.
It's a great question. And yeah, it comes up a lot.
So this deep dive, and it's really our journey to unpack that, we're going to look at the tools. Some are surprisingly easy to use, talk about potential costs, and sort of get into the logic behind why these AI platforms work the way they do. The main goal, to show you that building with AI is probably much more doable than you think.
Absolutely. There's this common idea that you need like a PhD in computer science to even get started with AI.
Right.
But the reality today, for a lot of really useful stuff, it's just not true anymore.
Okay, so you've hit on something important there, and it leads right into this other question I hear constantly. People ask, look, if Notion AI is basically just using GPT's brain, then why wouldn't I just go straight to ChatGPT? What's the point of another app?
Yeah, it feels like an extra step, right?
Exactly.
But understanding that difference, that's key to seeing the whole picture. Think of it like this. ChatGPT is, well, it's the raw intelligence, the brain, basically.
Okay.
You give it something, an input, it gives you something back, an output. Super powerful, super flexible, but you have to know exactly what to ask, how to ask it.
Yeah.
Sometimes takes a few tries,
Right, the whole prompt engineering thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Notion AI or tools like it, they're different. They're task-focused tools built around that brain. They have these preset functions. You don't write a big prompt. You just click a button like, summarize this, or improve my writing, or make shorter.
Ah, so it handles the prompting for you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It takes that raw brain power and wraps it up in a way that fits right into your workflow, makes it easy. The analogy we talked about earlier, it's like Google Maps versus Uber. Google Maps has all the map data, the raw stuff.
Right.
Uber uses that same map data, but its job is just to get you from A to B. Effortlessly, you don't need to think about the route.
Okay, I get it. Notion AI is like the Uber for specific AI tasks. It streamlines it.
You got it. It makes the intelligence immediately useful for certain jobs, minimal fuss.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And it brings us right back to the core question for this deep dive then. Can I, a regular person, maybe someone without that coding background, actually build my own AI tool?
Yes, absolutely yes. And it's important to know there are really 3 different ways you could go about it. But some are much, much more practical for someone starting out.
Okay, lay them out for us.
So option 1, use the big AI models like GPT or Gemini, but through something called an API.
API.
Yeah, application programming interface. Think of it like a special plug socket. It lets your app talk directly to OpenAI's or Google's AI brain.
So you're not building the brain itself.
Nope, you're essentially like renting access to it. You build your own application, your own front end, but the heavy-duty AI thinking, that's handled by the big guys.
And the cost. Is that going to be huge?
Actually, no, that's the surprising part. You usually pay based on how much you use it, like how much text it processes. For smaller projects, you might be looking at, I don't know, maybe 500, maybe up to 2,000 rupees a month, maybe even less to start, like a few dollars.
Wow, okay. So that sounds really accessible.
It is. It's probably the ideal starting point if you have an idea but limited coding experience. You focus on your app's features, not the core AI model.
Okay, that sounds promising. What are the downsides, though? Like privacy, if you're sending stuff to their servers?
That's a really important point. Yes, you are sending data to a third party. So for highly sensitive stuff, you need to be aware of that. That's the trade-off for the convenience.
And you're dependent on them, they're pricing their service.
Exactly. You're tied to their platform. But honestly, for most people starting out, the ease of use and low entry barrier, it often outweighs those concerns.
Makes sense. Okay, what's option 2?
Option 2 is using open source models. This is different. Here, you actually download an AI model, think names like Mistral or LLaMA from Meta or GPT-4All, and you run it directly on your own computer or maybe a server you control.
Ah, so it runs locally, offline even.
Potentially, yes. The big pluses here are privacy. Your data stays with you and no ongoing cost per use once you've set it up. You have full control.
But does that need serious tech skills, like coding?
It needs some technical setup, yeah.
Huh.
Maybe messing around with the command line a bit. But honestly, there are fantastic tutorials online now, step-by-step guides. You can often get these models running without being a hardcore coder just by following instructions carefully.
So also a good option for beginners, especially if they like tinkering or value privacy.
Definitely. The main cost here might be just having a decent enough computer to run it and, well, your electricity bill.
Okay, cool. So APIs are open sourced locally. That covers a lot. What's the third option you mentioned?
Right. Option 3. We mentioned this just to be thorough, really. It's training your own AI model completely from scratch.
Like building the actual brain.
Exactly. Building the brain itself. And honestly, this is pretty much impractical for individuals or beginners, or even most small companies.
Why is that?
Well, the cost is astronomical. We're talking potentially millions of dollars. You need absolutely massive amounts of data, huge computing power like specialized data centers, and a team of highly specialized machine learning experts.
Okay, so definitely not the starting point.
Not unless you have very, very deep pockets and a specific research goal. So yeah, for most of us wanting to build a tool, it's really about leveraging option 1 or option 2.
That's actually a huge relief. It makes AI feel much less intimidating. Okay, so if we're focusing on those first two paths, let's talk tools. What's out there right now that can actually help someone get started, especially stuff that's free or low cost?
Oh, it's genuinely a goldmine right now for building actual apps without code. Look at platforms like Glide or Bubble.io.
No code tools.
Yeah, drag and drop, basically. They let you build surprisingly complex web applications visually. You could, like, spin up a custom AI feedback tool for your website pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And you can even look at Notion AI itself, not just to use, but to study. See how they integrate AI features into a real product. It gives you ideas.
Good point. What about connecting things? Like making your custom tool talk to, say, Gmail.
Right. For automation and connecting different services, tools like Zapier or Make are indispensable. They act like digital glue.
Okay.
And then crucially, to actually pull in that GPT-level intelligence into your custom app, you'd use the OpenAI API we talked about. That's the plug.
Got it. So that's for building apps that connect to those big AI brains online. What about the local offline stuff, option 2?
Yeah, for running AI locally, check out Ollama. It's become super popular because it makes downloading and running models like LLaMA or Mistral on your own PC surprisingly straightforward.
Easier setup.
Relatively, yeah. And then there's LM Studio that gives you a nice desktop interface for using local AI models, and it can work completely offline.
Offline AI, that's kind of wild.
It is. Think about being on a plane, no Wi-Fi, and still being able to use a powerful AI. And another good one is GT4 All, which is basically a personal chatbot that runs just on your computer.
Okay. And any specific open source models people should look into?
Definitely. Mistral is getting a lot of attention, high quality from a French startup. Meta's LLaMA 3 is free and really capable. If you're interested in coding help, specifically, there's LLaMA and StarCoder. They're trained for programming tasks.
Like an AI pair programmer?
Kind of, yeah. And for audio, OpenAI's Whisper is fantastic for transcription, and Bart can do some pretty impressive voice generation. All open source options you can explore.
That is quite the toolkit. It really does feel like the pieces are there. But, this brings me back to something that bugged me for ages.
What's that?
Why do people pay for tools like Notion AI or Jasper or Copy.ai if they could, in theory, just use ChatGPT directly, maybe even via the API for cheap? What's the business logic?
Oh, yeah. That's a super important insight. It boils down to this. People rarely pay just for the raw intelligence. They pay for convenience and experience.
Convenience.
Yeah. These tools, they do the heavy lifting. You don't have to figure out the perfect prompt. You don't have to mess around formatting the output. You don't have to copy and paste stuff between different windows.
It's built into the workflow.
Exactly. It's the one click equals task done feeling.
Yeah.
They solve a very specific problem or smooth out a particular workflow really, really well.
So it's less about the AI brain and more about the application, the user experience around it.
Precisely. And that is the big opportunity for you, for anyone listening. You don't need to build a better AI brain. You can take the amazing brains that already exist.
Like GPT or LLaMA.
Right, and build a better workflow around them. Solve a niche problem for a specific group of people. Create a smoother, more intuitive user experience.
So the value isn't just the AI, it's how easily it solves my specific problem.
That's where the real value creation is happening now. It's in the application, the user experience, the problem solving.
That's a huge shift in perspective. Okay, makes total sense now. So let's say someone's listening, they're inspired, they want to actually try building their own AI tool or brand. What's a practical, beginner-friendly roadmap, step by step?
Okay, yeah, we can map that out.
Yeah,
and it's genuinely accessible. Step 1, start with ChatGPT. Just use it a lot. Learn prompt engineering.
Getting good at asking questions.
Exactly. Learn how to talk to the AI to get consistently great results. This costs nothing but your time, and it's fundamental. You're learning the language.
Okay, master the basics first. What's next?
Step 2. Learn some no-code tools. Get comfortable with something like Bubble, Glide, maybe even Notion or Tana if you use them already. These are your building blocks. They let you build the interface, the app itself, without writing code, so you can focus on the idea, not the technical hurdles.
Makes sense.
Step 3. Start playing with the OpenAI API. This is where you connect your no-code app to that powerful GPT brain. Start building small, custom tools.
Like what?
Maybe a simple blog post outliner that uses your preferred style, or an email assistant that drafts replies based on your past emails, or a task planner that understands your projects. Start small, make it useful for you.
Okay, build something simple first. Then what?
Step 4. Explore open source AI. Try setting up Ollama or GPT-4All on your own computer. Run a model locally.
Why do that if I'm using the API?
It's about understanding, getting a deeper feel for how these models work, their capabilities, their limitations. Plus, you might find local AI is better for certain privacy-sensitive ideas later on. It broadens your perspective.
Got it. Deeper understanding. Next step.
Step 5. Build a prototype. Got an idea. Build a basic version. Don't aim for perfection, just make something. Then, crucially, share it.
Share it, even if it's rough.
Yes. Share it with a few trusted people, maybe potential users, get their feedback, see how they use it, what breaks, what's confusing, what do they love. This is where you learn the most. Iterate based on that feedback.
Okay, build, test, learn, repeat. What's the final step?
Step 6. Scale slowly. If your prototype shows promise, if people find it valuable, then you can think about scaling. Maybe that means improving the tech. Maybe it means finding more users. You might eventually hire someone to help with coding or design, but only when you need to. Your main focus should stay on the idea, the user, and making the tool better, not on becoming a coding expert overnight.
That roadmap feels achievable. It breaks it down really well. So let's bottom line it. What are the absolute minimum requirements to even start down this path today?
Honestly, the budget is tiny to start. Maybe 5,000 to 10,000 rupees max. That's like 50 to 100 bucks maybe. Just for initial API tests or a no-code tool subscription, often even less.
So not a huge investment.
Not at all. And coding needed. Minimal to none, especially at the start.
So what does matter most then?
What matters is having a clear idea, understanding the problem you want to solve and who you're solving it for, and having those basic AI prompting skills we talked about.
The idea and the understanding are more important than the code.
Absolutely. Right now, the tech is becoming the easy part, believe it or not. Your creativity, your understanding of user needs, your willingness to just try stuff, that's the real key.
Wow. Okay, so the big takeaway from this whole deep dive feels pretty clear. You really don't need to build the AI brain yourself anymore to create something valuable, maybe even groundbreaking.
Not at all. That barrier has largely crumbled for builders.
So what do you need? It sounds like you need, well, an understanding of how these tools fit together.
Yeah.
A solid idea that actually helps people.
Crucial.
And maybe most importantly, just the courage to start learning and building as you go.
Exactly right. AI isn't just for the PhDs and ivory towers anymore. It's becoming a tool for everyday problem solving, available to anyone with a good idea and the drive to experiment.
That really does change the game. So, thinking about all this, a question for you listening. Would you rather focus on building your own custom AI tool now, or maybe just double down on getting smarter with using something like ChatGPT? We'd love to know your thoughts. And make sure to join us next time. We're diving into another really interesting topic, how to create your own AI-powered YouTube channel with no coding.
Sounds fascinating. Until then, keep asking questions, keep building. And remember, the smartest AI tool, it's still a human with a really good question.